The little boy was playing on the stairs when suddenly, the door beside him opened silently. The little boy found this very strange, so he slowly walked into that room. But just as he was about to turn on the hanging light, something unexpected happened. Without any warning, he fell from the ladder. When he sat up, he stared in terror at the dark corner of the room. Shortly after, his parents heard screaming coming from upstairs. But when they rushed upstairs and conducted a thorough examination, they were surprised to discover that the child was completely unharmed. Only then did the parents breathe a sigh of relief. However, what they didn't know was that at this very moment, disaster had quietly descended upon this family. The next morning, when the man went to wake up his son, he found that the child seemed to have fallen into a coma. The father instantly panicked, desperately calling his son's name, but the little boy showed no response whatsoever. After a comprehensive diagnosis by the doctor, all of the boy's physical indicators were normal. But this doctor, who had been practicing medicine for 20 years, had never seen such a bizarre case. In his opinion, the boy wasn't truly in a coma, but rather seemed to have entered some kind of deep sleep. However, what was strange was that no awakening methods had any effect on him. The couple could only wait anxiously, but 3 months had already passed, and the boy still showed no signs of waking up. Having no other choice, the couple decided to bring the child home to care for him. However, they didn't realize that it was precisely this decision that caused the child's condition to deteriorate rapidly. On the night they returned home, the woman was practicing piano when suddenly she heard strange sounds coming from her daughter's room. She quickly grabbed the monitoring device and turned the volume to maximum. A sinister, malicious voice reached her ears.
I want it.
And in that instant, the woman was completely overcome by fear. It wasn't until she heard her daughters crying that she suddenly snapped back to reality and hurried upstairs. But when she rushed into the nursery, she found that there was no one else in the room at all, yet her daughter seemed to have been greatly frightened and was crying at the top of her lungs. When her husband came home, she immediately told him about this bizarre incident. But her husband insisted on analyzing it with rational thinking, speculating that it might be signal interference that caused his wife to mistakenly receive radio waves from a neighbor's house. However, what happened next completely changed his mind. In the dead of night, urgent knocking suddenly echoed from downstairs.
What the hell is that?
The husband immediately went downstairs to check, but after careful inspection, there was no one there at all. But an ominous premonition surged in his heart, so he quickly locked the door and activated the security system. At the same time, his wife again heard her daughters screaming, so she rushed toward the nursery. The next second, a scene that made her blood run cold appeared. It turned out that none of this was coincidental. This house indeed harbored unspeakable secrets.